You are listening to Match Betting Insights, brought to you by OddsMonkey, the #1 match betting provider in the world. This and all our podcasts are available via our official podcast provider, Podbean, and all the top podcast providers, including iTunes, Aircast, and TuneIn. Today's podcast is Crazy on Casinos, the next stage in our casino journey. And joining me, as ever, is OddsMonkey's Steve T.
Hi, Graham. How are we doing today?
I'm good, mate. Thanks. Good. So I say, Steve and myself have previously covered casinos in an earlier podcast, to casino or not. And today we're looking at the next step on this. So just a quick reminder, if you are a beginner, we would advise you to go and listen to the other one first and then come back to this one, and that'll really set you up in your casino adventure. Just a couple of housekeeping notes. As we delve into the casino a bit more, today we're going to be using a new casino hub, which is part of OddsMonkey's premium service. And to see that, you will need the premium offer, which we're going to give you now. If you use the app code PODOFFER, PODOFFER, that'll get you 10 full days of OddsMonkey Premium for just £1. It'll give you full access to the Casino Hub, which we're going to be delving into a lot of detail today. So as said, we're going to be looking at the Casino Hub, which is all new to the OddsMonkey platform. And Steve, as we said, we would advise our listeners to listen to our first podcast, which was a basic guide to casinos, wasn't it? And then come back to this one, which is going to have a little bit more detail for people.
Yeah, I think rather than sort of, we'll obviously reference a couple of points from the first podcast, but rather than sort of, repeating the same information, we've already done it and it's already out there. So we'll reference back to it throughout this. So it is, sort of almost a must listen alongside this podcast, where we'll be sort of looking in a bit more depth at a couple of the offers, and especially with the advent of the new casino hub that's come online fairly recently.
Yeah, I say casino is something often people think of as a side hustle, not really about match betting. But Steve, this casino offers now, especially during this tumultuous time with the pandemic as it stands, everyone thinks of casinos as something on the side, but no, it really can be a huge part of match betting, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've done casino offers for, a long time. I mean, 15 plus years, I would say. Obviously showing my age, but, possibly even a little bit longer. But anyway, I've done...
Oh, you don't look a day over 60, Steve.
Cheers, mate. But I've done casino offers, for long enough to know that how profitable and sort of stable they can be, as long as you follow the correct instructions. And as you correctly mentioned, Graham, I mean, whilst there's a lot of sports that have sort of disappeared for the time being, what we're starting to see, and it's been very noticeable on the calendar and when I've been browsing around different websites, that the bookmakers are obviously still keen for us to get involved and be on their sites and being part of the action. And one of the ways that they're sort of trying to do that is by pushing out more and more casino-based promotions. And I think that's something that it from where I'm looking, it already seems to have increased quite a fair bit on certain sites. And I think over the next sort of, few weeks and next couple of months, we're going to see quite a bit more of a push from the bookmakers / casinos to get us taking action on the sites, which if they're attached to a promotion, then that can give us opportunities to make some profits.
Yeah, as I said, we'd like to emphasise again the beginners. We do say, don't we, if you've been through all the sign-ups, that is then the end of the beginning, not the beginning of the end. And casinos is a really natural next step, isn't it, Steve? And it isn't just about gambling, casinos, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, there's no sort of two ways around it. When you do a casino offer, especially for the first time, perhaps, you sit down to play a slot machine or fruit machine, as you've probably heard of them in sort of your local pubs and clubs, or if you sit at a blackjack table or a roulette table, it looks and can feel like gambling, because that's exactly what it is. There's lots of flashing lights and all the rest of it. So it looks and feels like gambling the first time you set about it. Whereas when you're doing, let's say, the sports side of match betting, and you're following the odds matcher, and it feels a little bit more, let's say, formulaic and a little bit more scientific, because you're getting told exactly what stakes to place as lay bets and all the rest of it, and you think you're just following this little process, and you know what's going to happen at the end of it because it's fairly sort of controlled. The casino element brings a little bit of randomness to it. However, as long as the same as any other match betting offer, as long as you follow the the guides and the strategies as they're laid out, letter by letter, word by word, line by line, then over the long term, medium and long term, you are going to get the results that you're after. And I say that from a place of, say, many years of experience with all of this. It's just important that you stick to the strategies, and any deviation outside of that, where, because if you get an offer that tells you to wager £10 and you decide to wager £30, then that additional £20 of wagering that you've done is gambling. So as long as you stick to the strategies, it is not gambling. We are working basically on some very simple mathematics and probabilities to ensure that we're doing the right thing again and again. So
it can be sometimes easier to see that mathematical equation panning out in casino, can't I say? Sometimes it's almost a bit easier to explain than the football and horse racing at times. But here we are, as we mentioned, the all-new Casino Hub. So when it comes to getting started, there's no better place now than the new Casino Hub that you can see on OddsMonkey.
No, it's very straightforward. Yeah, if you're logged into OddsMonkey, obviously with your premium account, then right on the top sort of menu bar, you'll see you've got tutorials, offers, and then the third one along is Casino Hub. So give that a click, and it'll take you straight into a little dashboard just for casino, where you're going to see links through to the various sections that'll be of use to you, such as new account offers, reload offers, weekly bet clubs, and some calculators and databases and training guides, and we'll sort of cover those as we go through. But that's the very first place you should click. And well, I guess I should say, actually, within there's a link to the training guides. If you're new to this, then that should be your first protocol. You should be going into the training guides and reading them, watching any videos. And once you've done that, I'd probably say go through it again and have another read and have another watch.
It's even one, like, if you're new to casino or match betting, even if you think you're a bit of an expert at blackjack or slots and you know all about them, make sure you read them. Don't presume anything, isn't it? Because I had that where I thought I knew a bit about slot machines. Once you've read that guide, you realise you knew very little sometimes. So it's just double checking, isn't it?
Yeah, no matter how experienced you are, I mean, I consider myself obviously very experienced with all of this, but I'm always open to reading new information and guides and information from anywhere, really, just because even if I read through something and let's just say turns out I knew 95% of it, but 5% of it's new information and good information, well, I'm glad that I went through the rest of it to get it. So even if you are experienced, it's still worth a read through, because there may be something in there, some little tip or hint that you may not have thought about, and we'll just maybe put you on a better sort of footing to carry on and sort of crack on and with the offers and make some profits.
Cool. So we're going to get into this now, Steve, going through the hub in a bit more detail. The hub, though, doesn't cover some things, does it? So before we start, don't be expecting the high risk offers. It's not something that we cover here, is it?
No, OddsMonkey, we tend to sort of look at the vast majority of the offers that you're going to see within the Casino Hub are sort of either risk-free, which is great, which are exactly as you'd imagine, i.e. you're not looking at losing any money, or low risk, where there's a potential that you could lose a small amount of money, but obviously you're looking for the profits to outweigh any of the small losses. But at most, you kind of see sort of medium risk offers, which I think there's a couple on the calendar today. But high risk side of things, it's not something that's really part of the OddsMonkey ethos. This is very much a case of trying to protect customers, balances and bankrolls, and help them to keep growing that in the less sort of risky way possible.
Yeah, because we don't emphasise it's not gambling. So here we are. So sign-ups first. As you alluded to just then, Steve, risk-free is the first protocol for us when it comes to sign-ups in casinos.
Yeah, if you do get onto the Casino Hub and you sort of pop over to the new account offers section, then within there, I'm just trying to get it open now. I did have it a moment ago. I found it now. The very first section within there, which is 100% the first place that you should start, and that's why it's listed first. But there's the risk-free, and yeah, it is. They are risk-free, as the name sort of alludes to. So this will be signing up to some casinos that you probably never even heard of. Some with some weird and wonderful name like Legs 11. Things of that ilk, Monster Casino. At the minute we've got Slot Crazy, all these types of things.
And we need to emphasise, just as sorry, Steve, we just need to emphasise to people there as well, where when we're speaking off air a little bit, people who may be match betting and good from Paddy Power or Betfair, you've still got the casino guy. You can still join the casino or have that available to you. And some people will think, if I'm blocked by Sky Bet, then I can't be in Sky Vegas. That's not the case, is it?
No. It depends on a website by website basis. But yeah, I mean, just looking on the sort of the Casino Hub sign up page now. I mean, I'm just searching Betfair, and you've got an offer there for Betfair Casino. You've got an offer there for Betfair Arcade. In fact, there's a couple of offers for the Betfair Arcade.
There's a lot of experienced match bettors think that's not available to them when it actually is, don't they?
Yeah. So just always, even if you've been restricted on the sports side of things, it's still worth sort of jumping in and seeing, looking in the casino sort of side of the website, because you'll probably find that you have some sort of offer that's available to you, and depending on the terms of that, it's probably going to be, hopefully going to be a positive expected value, for you. So it's something that anything that has a positive expected value, we should pretty much be, attempting those type of offers. So, but just going back to the risk-free side of things, Graeme, they are risk-free. I said there are some casinos with weird and wonderful names. All of these casinos that are listed on OddsMonkey in that section have been sort of vetted by the staff. The staff have joined these and tested and tried them. And if you look at any of the guides and you follow the link through to the forum, you will find, lots and lots of anecdotal evidence from OddsMonkey members who have tried them and explaining, well...
That's a good thing, isn't it? So you don't have to spend half an hour Googling the company, see where they're from and all that. If it's on OddsMonkey, you can use them. That's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, because I know OddsMonkey has in the past and will in the future sometimes get a bit of stick for, there's a new casino site, but it's not on OddsMonkey yet. Why is that? Well, they go through a vetting process. Yeah, it's a bit of due diligence. So it does go through a vetting process, which involves depositing money, playing the games, and then more importantly, if there is a win, trying to get the money out again and making sure there's no issues before we sort of put these things live. But within there, you've got all these risk-free offers, and a lot of these just require you to sort of follow the link, sign up to the website. You'll have to put maybe your card details in just to sort of prove that you're over 18, but you're not having to deposit on any of these. These are all sort of no deposit offers. And you will receive either sort of free spins or some, free cash to play on the casino games. And you may or may not make a profit from those free spins or free cash. So the only thing that's at risk really is the time it takes you to sign up and have a bash at it. There's 33 offers. That's my rough count on the screen there. There's 33 offers available at the minute. And if you do all of those, then I would like to think you would manage to hit a win on at least one or two of those. And that could be a 30, 40, 50 pound win if you're lucky, So there's certainly a great place to start, because you're not risking cash, and it gives you the opportunity to try playing the different types of games, the slots, the roulette, the blackjack. It can give you that exposure of real casino play without risking any money, which is invaluable, really.
Again, it's like the match betting thing, isn't it? Let's get through those offers, isn't it? You can't replace that experience, can you, Steve, of getting used to these different types of games as well? No,
and if you are new to it, if you're unsure of it, do the risk-free. See how you get on. See if you like it. See if it's a nice fit for you. I'm pretty sure if you hit a decent win, you'll think, I'll have a bit more of this, please. But you may as well do the risk-free sign-ups as a bare minimum just to get going, because you will get used to the mechanics of how the games work, and that puts you sort of in a good footing for all the rest of it that's to come.
And after risk-free, then it steps up slightly, then, doesn't it, Steve, to the lower risk stuff?
Yeah, with the low risk type offers available sort of on the site. Just a little scroll down, so you can get a bit of there's a whole sort of different realm of these available, but they are they're mostly like really, 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 really good. I mean, in the previous podcast, we talked about things like RTP, return to player percentage, and how to calculate EV, expected value, things like that. Essentially, with the low risk ones, especially on the sign-ups, as with sports offers, the sign-up offers tend to be quite generous, which is the case, with these. So I'm just having a quick look down the list. It was available sort of at the minute, Buzz Bingo, for example, you need to deposit £10 of your own cash. They will give you a £30 bingo bonus to play on bingo. Who doesn't love bingo? And you'll also get 10
That's
free.
because we talk about casinos. There's so many bingo sites around now, Steve, isn't there? And they're part of this as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't actually tell you how many bingo sites I'm a member of.
Unreal, isn't it? Really?
But I mean, I think I must be a member of at least 40, 50 plus.
And then some online as well, Steve. They're just the ones you like to go to on a night, aren't they? Then you join some online as well.
That's just my usual Friday night before the virus kicked in. Yeah, but yeah, Buzz Bingo, you get at the minute you get a £30 bingo bonus, and you get 10 free spins to use on a slot. Now, you deposit £10, you wager £10 on any game, any slot machine, for example. Now, if you wager that £10 on a slot machine, again, just referencing quickly back to go back to the original podcast to hear a bit more in depth about this, but you'll know from that podcast, if you wager £10 on a slot machine with an RTP of 95%, then wagering that £10, you would expect, on average, if you did this offer again and again and again, you would expect to lose 50 pence. So you lose 50 pence, but then you're going to get 10 free spins, which are worth, say, 20 pence each. So you're getting £2 worth of free spins, and you're getting £30 to play on bingo. So what you're looking at is going to cost me, on average, 50 pence to get £32 of free stuff. That's why it's in our favour. That's where the big positive and expected values come in.
As we discussed on the first one as well, Steve, it's all there, isn't it? It's all readily available. You're not waiting for match betting. Sometimes you're waiting for a result. You're waiting for the horse to come in on a football result. With these, it's instant, isn't it?
Yeah, the vast, especially the sign-ups, the sign-up offers tend to be you wager, and then you might have to reload the game, or you might have to refresh the page at times, but your wager, it tells you got to wager a certain amount of money. You do that, and then you get whatever it is you're supposed to get, sort of there and then. And then within 5-10 minutes, you've completed the offer, and then on to the next one. It's really good for getting a flow going. For rattling through these things. Yeah, you're not having to wait for, I've just backed a football game that kicks off in 2 days' time, and then you're having to put a note in your diary to come back in 2 days, and all the rest of it. For the sign-up offers, you can pretty much sort of clear them, straight away, really.
Yeah, and then obviously we've done risk-free, low risk, and then there's a third category, isn't there, of cashback, Steve?
Yeah, this is sort of a welcome addition, to the OddsMonkey site, and within the Casino Hub as well, where the cashback offers, they're done sort of, let's say, third party. So many of you may or may not have heard of sites like sort of Quidco, that's Quidco, Quidco, or perhaps Top Cashback. I think they're sort of the two biggest cashback sites in the UK. Very straightforward, and they help to give you a real sort of good edge over the casinos on some of these when you're signing up, because what you do is you get yourself an account, away from OddsMonkey, you get yourself an account with Top Cashback, for example. And within there, they have a gambling section. So if you put gambling in their search, you will have a list of sort of sites that are available, and you will click. So I'm just looking at the first one on the list. For example, let's just pick one of these on here. This is a really good example. So Lotto Land cashback sign-up offer. So on Top Cashback, you need to deposit and wager £11 at Lotto Land. So you deposit £11 of your own money, you wager £11 on any game. You will then receive £15.75 from Top Cashback for the fact that you've gone via their website to sign up for Lotto Land. So your worst case scenario on that is that you make £4.75 because you're depositing 11, but you're getting £15.75 actual cashback. So your worst case scenario is £4.75 profit if you lose all the £11 that you deposit and wager. If you happen to let's say you hit a win with that £11 that you're wagering, and you maybe win 50 quid or 100 or 20 or whatever it is, that's just additional profit on top. So these cashback offers are a really good little added extra, and they should be really sort of front and central of making sure you get those ticked off on that page. 100% really good opportunities there.
Cool. And then, so you've done your risk-free, low fish and cashbacks. Obviously, you've got plenty of profits to choose from. And keeping track of profits is something we always bang on about, but it's essential. Everyone has their own way of doing it, Steve. In terms of profits, do you advise people keeping casino and match betting separate, or is that just a personal preference?
Obviously, personal preference, I guess. But if you're going, what I'd recommend basically is if you're using the OddsMonkey site and you're using the profit tracker, you're used to doing the sports offers, and you're using the profit tracker when you're within the odds matcher, to log the profit using the buttons throughout the various calculators. You can go to the profit tracker and you can now add a manual event on the profit tracker, and you can add a casino type offer, and you can add the casino that you've done the profit at, and then you can add your profit or the loss associated from that offer. So exactly this is all good sort of practice and good things to do. Just treat this like any other match betting offer. You should always just keep a record so you know exactly where you're up to. And although we've said obviously with these sign-up offers, when you wager your certain amount and you get awarded a certain amount, that all tends to happen fairly instantly. As we get into looking at maybe the type of reload offers that are available, sometimes you have something where you wager £10 today, and in 3 days' time, that's when you're going to get your free spins or your bonus, for example. So having a log of that somewhere, an aide-memoire to remember that you've not finished that offer is super important. So you're not missing out on your free stuff that you're going to get. So the profit tracker would be sort of the most easy, straightforward place to pop that info, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously you were speaking there. If we switch on to that, Steve, talking about terms of types of offers we expect in the reloads, and the wagering is a big one.
Yeah, when you get into the reload section again, if you're in the casino hub and you can click through to there's two bits really. There's a reload offers sort of button there, and there's a weekly bet club offers. The reload offers are things that tend to pop up on a daily basis, of which there are many. And when you're in there, I mean, just to say about the types available, you'll see things available on lots of slot games to be played, lots of live casino. There'll be some virtual sports in there, which we sort of mentioned in another podcast we recorded about match betting still being profitable, which you'll find obviously in the store. But you'll see things for slots, things for live casino, things for virtuals, things for roulette, and things for blackjack. That's the main things you're going to see. Now, with any of those, the wagering is crucial, because if we break this down into its sort of basic form, all these are is just the same as with the sports. You have to do something to then get something in return. So when it comes to casino type offers, you have to wager a certain amount of money, and then you get something free in return. Now, you need to be disciplined with this. I mean, mega disciplined.
As you alluded to at the start, this is the big thing, isn't it, with casinos too, where you're on the precipice of gambling, aren't you? Here, this is the main thing, isn't it? Here. Yeah.
So just if you're doing a casino offer and you need to wager £10, and let's just say the last let's say you're playing a slot machine, and the last 5 or 6 spins that you did to get to your £10 worth of wagering, the last 5 or 6 spins didn't give you a single win. Do not fall into the gambler's sort of mentality, the gambler's fallacy sort of thing of, oh, well, the next one has to win because I've not won for 5 or 6. No, it doesn't. Each spin is independent of the other.
You've been watching my computer too much, though.
Yeah, exactly. So when you get to the end of your wager, when you reach that wagering amount, you stop, and then you use your freebies, and then you get onto the next offer. And if you do that with sort of rigid discipline, you won't go far wrong with all of this. Don't be tempted by, I'll just have one more spin, I'll just have one more hand of blackjack, I'll just have one more spin on the roulette. You've got to stick to the wagering, and everything else will take care of itself. Any additional wagering, basically, the short version of this is any additional wagering changes the expected value of the offer that you're attempting. And if the expected value for that offer is perhaps quite small, maybe 40 pence on one or two, that additional spin or spins can be the difference between you having a positive expected value and you suddenly turning that into a negative expected value. And obviously, we always want to have a positive expected value, i.e., we expect to make money over the medium long term with it.
And they say that it's all in the guide as well, Steve, isn't it? It's all in the explanation. But there might be the odd instance, Steve, where we're floating around the sites and we see this all new Bobby Dazzler spanking. Say when Paddy Power in their all new Bobby Dazzler slot machine is there offering millions of pounds, etc., etc. It's all brand new. We're there first, and the guide might not quite be on OddsMonkey yet, but there is a way we can still work out and play that, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean,
we're using the hub.
Yeah. I mean, with the best will in the world, obviously the guys that OddsMonkey,
they're on top of it. Yeah. You might get lucky. You might find one. Yeah, but the guys are. But if you do come, or if there's sometimes where you can't see the tree for the woods, etc., and you can't notice it, there is a way you can double check, isn't there?
There is, yeah. So I mean, that's with the best will in the world, the guys are always trying to make sure the guides are sort of on point and up to date. However, you might have sort of a member of staff who's just gone through Paddy Power and made sure that everything's on, and then the minute they click off the site, Paddy Power put the guide on, obviously, and then you as the customer pop along to Paddy Power 2 or 3 minutes later, and you think, oh, where's the guide for it? So a couple of things you can do from there. One, obviously, let the OddsMonkey staff know, and they'll get a guide written up ASAP and put on the site, which is great. But the other thing is, if you're just looking to get on with it yourself, if you go to the Casino Hub, then in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a button there called the Expected Value Calculator, which is sort of a new and revamped one, which is really, really, really good. And you can choose the type of offer that it is you're looking at. So that may be that you're getting offered free spins, so it'll tell you choose what you're going to get in return. So I said you're either going to get offered pretty much free spins, or you're going to get offered bonus cash, bonus money. So you can choose from the drop down what you want to do, what you're looking at. It has an initial wagering, so you can put in how much you need to wager, what your stake's going to be. It asks for the RTP percentage. Again, if you go back to the first podcast around casino, you'll hear all about RTPs. I'd like to also reference in there that if you in the Casino Hub and maybe you're doing a slots offer, there is a slots database button there, and there are hundreds and hundreds of slots listed within there. And if you just type in any slot name, it'll come up and tell you what the sort of RTP is. In fact, there are 9,782 slots, so more than hundreds, thousands, in fact.
Yeah, coming out their ears, aren't they?
Yeah, so there's a lot. But point being, if you use the expected value calculator, you can pop in all of the terms of the offer, what you need to wager, obviously what your RTP percentage is, what you're going to receive in return, and the RTP percentage, etc. on there. And then it tells you very clearly whether it's got a positive expected value, i.e. it's in green, and you got the green, and it's a positive number, or if it comes out as a negative number, it's going to be in red, and that's telling you it's a no-go. And if you're ever unsure, again, you can email support@oddsmonkey.com and the staff will get back to you, or you can ask a question in the forum, tag @support staff in, and someone will get back to you ASAP as well. But yeah, the estimated value calculator is sort of is there to help, because let's face it, you may be there at midnight, 1 a.m, and happen across something and want to crack on with it then. And OddsMonkey staff are good, but they're not that good that they're working at 1 a.m. But you can use the calculator to get you where you want to be.
And in terms of offers that are there, there's so many. Obviously, you've got your match betting where you'll be used to daily offers and weekly clubs, and that's all available on the casinos as well, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
the same version. You think weekly clubs, you associate that with sport, but there is the weekly clubs on the casino as well.
Yeah, and at some of the, let's say the usual suspects as well. Sites where there's going to be some sites where that are going to be new to you, and you should be joining probably as part of the new account offers. You would have joined a lot of these, quite a few bingo sites. But within the weekly bet clubs, you're going to see, there's offers there for Sky Vegas. There's offers for William Hill. So some of the big boys are in there. BWin, Paddy Power. These all have weekly bet clubs, and they're all worth doing. And I, well, personally, I do as many of these as I can each week, and yeah, you should do. I mean, a lot of these are very, very sort of low risk, really good sort of entry points. And again, it's just giving you that, especially in these sort of, let's call them uncertain times or whatever, while everything's a bit up in the air sports wise at the minute, it's giving you a little bit of a structure, a little bit of routine each week, because you can do these things on certain days of the week, on a weekly basis, and you can start to get yourself a little bit of a structure and routine back, and hopefully, whilst we're all in this like lockdown, it'll also help you to know what day of the week it is. So.
Yeah, that is the thing at the minute. And as part of this, Steve, as well, we mentioned Blackjack and Roulette, because you will get offers surrounding those as well. And we've got guides to those as well within the hub. Yeah,
I mean, any of the offers, as we've sort of mentioned before, any offer, whether it's a sign-up offer, whether it's a reload offer, weekly bet club, just make sure you click through to the guide within the OddsMonkey community and follow the instructions to the letter, and you'll be okay. As part of that, if there's ever an offer that relates to playing blackjack or roulette as the sort of, for your qualifying wagering, for example, there will then be links to guides telling you the best way to sort of go about those as well. So within, so for blackjack, for example, the guide, which is going to be very difficult to sort of explain on a podcast as such. However, if you do go and have a look at the OddsMonkey Blackjack Strategy Guide, you basically get a grid, and down the left-hand side of the grid, you have whatever your hand is, which could be, you might have a 10 and a 3 or a 10 and a 4, the cards that you get dealt. And across the top of the grid, you then have the possible cards that the dealer may have been dealt. So it's almost like a matrix. So you look down the left-hand column, that's what I've been dealt, and then you go across that row and tally it up until you find the correct column for the dealer. And then depending on which little sort of cell, which little square you landed on, it tells you in there you should stand, take another card, you should double, it tells you exactly what you should do. And so even if you've never played blackjack before, if you follow that little matrix, that will sort of put you in a good position. It's probably actually better, isn't it, sometimes when you haven't played these before, Steve, because the emotions out of it, you don't think you know better than what's there, which I know I can be guilty of at times, but so that can be an advantage, really. Yeah, it is. It makes it more. It makes it a bit more formulaic, a bit more mechanical. More calculated. Yeah. So you're, and again, I'll say it because it's a point worth making. Stick to the rules. Stick to the advice. So if it tells you to use the OddsMonkey Blackjack strategy, use it and make sure you stick to the grid, because these are the things that are going to protect your balance and help you to make decent profits in the medium and long term from all of this sort of type, casino type offers. Same with the roulette. There are various ways that you can bet on roulette. You can bet on numbers. You can bet on red or black. You can bet on columns. You can bet on first dozen, second dozen. There's so many different things you can do. Each one of those different sort of types of betting has different, maybe, changes the permutations and the chance of you winning on a particular sort of offer. For example, most of the guides for, roulette, for example, will just tell you to either bet on red or black or odd and even, which kind of almost 50-50 opportunities, so you'd expect to win almost like 1 out of every 2 spins, which is the most sort of low risk and easy way to go. I mean, when I play roulette, which I do weekly because of all the offers that I do, I just bet on red every time, which is surprising for a City fan. I was going to say, I'm very surprised you call red, Steve. I know. I don't know why, but I just do. It's probably because you're annoyed that red comes up, but but you're happy that you've won, so it takes away the annoyance. So something like that, yeah. I just very, mine's very formulaic. There's no real deep thought process. I know that betting on red or black or odd and even is generally the best option for any roulette offer. So I just put my money on red and I press spin. And if I need to do 10 spins, I do 10 spins. I'll do 10 all on red. I don't chop and change. You're welcome to chop and change. It doesn't really change the EV, but I just do 10 on red. And in terms of RTP, in terms of comeback, there's no difference between the live blackjack roulette and the virtual stuff. There's no difference whatsoever. No, yeah, I mean, some people believe there might be, but there isn't. No, yeah, well, it may be. Strictly speaking, there may be a tiny difference depending on the game, because The only reason the EV will change, there's two things: there's the rules of the game, or there's the number of decks that are in the shoe, sort of thing.
Yeah, because you can get slightly different variations of blackjack.
Yeah,
Can't you? So people have to be aware of that. Yeah,
but generally speaking, there's not much deviation between playing computer-generated blackjack or playing or playing live blackjack against a dealer. Same with roulette. I mean, you're pretty much on the same thing. In fact, just one little point that's just sprung to mind for the roulette offers out there, which will be referenced in the guides, I'm sure. But just a point worth noting, actually, is if you do come across an offer whereby you can, wager a certain amount on roulette and you get a certain amount of money free, for example. When you go into the offer, it will tell you which games are eligible. Now, this could be live blackjack. This could be live roulette. This could be computer-generated roulette. And as we were talking about the different game variations, you get things like you get the American version of roulette, you get the sort of European version of roulette, or the UK version. They're all very similar. Just that American tends to have a 0 and a double 0, whereas what we're used to over here just has a single 0. However, there is also French roulette. Now, if you ever see French roulette as one of the available games that you're allowed to play to wager, I recommend wholeheartedly that you choose that for wagering. Simple fact is, if you bet on, let's say, red or black, like I do, and the ball lands on 0, you will get 50% of your stake refunded from your bet.
Wow, you learn something every day, Steve. Yeah. Is that true? Wow, that is genuinely something I've never heard before. That is a
great. I mean, it's like one of the
instead of you're sinking your head into your hands and typical. That's a good rule. I like that.
Yeah, so every other variation of roulette, the ball lands. If I bet on red, if I put £5 on red and the ball lands on 0, I lose my £5. If I bet £5 on red on French roulette and it lands on 0, I get £2.50 back. So it's a slightly increased.
Is that just red and black, or odd and even as well?
Odd and even as well, yeah. Just the outside, cool. The outside sort of 50-50 bets. And it may even apply to the dozens. I'm not sure because I've only ever done the red and blacks on there, but certainly for the red, black, odd, even. But it gives you, obviously, it's an extra bit of value sort of in your pocket, so you may as well have it.
That is great. And so we're getting to the point of wrapping up now on this one, Steve, but I think you wanted to mention advantage play offers.
Yeah, just because we've seen a bit of an increase in some of the advantage play offers that are appearing, mostly for sort of virtual sports. I'll sort of reference what advantage play is in terms of. I'll do it in terms of a sports offer first, and then I'll come back to how it works with the casino side of things. But an advantage play offer when the football season has been underway, the vast majority of these, which a lot of people may have seen now, is a lot of the bookmakers started doing these create your own bets. So Sky have got like the request a bet, and Betway have got bet your way, and they've all got various different names across the bookies type thing. But you're creating your own bet within a football match. Now, within that, what a lot of them did was, if you bet £5, we'll give you a £5 free bet, which is great. So you go into your football match, you bet your £5, and you chose lots of different markets. You might bet on how many corners are going to be, who'd score the first goal, what the final score would be. It became advantage play because effectively, when you put in all these different parameters in, there's nowhere to go off to the exchange and lay it off. So you can't lay it off. The reason that there's value in it, so you might think, well, isn't that just gambling? Where's the value? The reason that's value is because if you bet £5 of your own cash on one of these create your own bets on a football match, and you know that you're going to get a £5 free bet, then by using that £5 free bet to back and lay in free bet SNR mode, you can turn that into about £4 of cash. So therefore, your worst case scenario is you're getting a £5 bet that's going to cost you £1 at most. So that's where the value is coming from. So if we sort of follow that through to the casino side of things, we have the virtual sports, and there's a lot of virtual sports appearing on the daily offer calendar at the minute. Because
a whole lot, like virtual sports are becoming a very big thing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, so and these are mainly across a lot of the bigger bookmakers as well. Like Betfred, etc. There's a bit of bit of a push on these. So there's plenty of opportunities.
Big thing on this bit. I think BetVictor got a big sign-up offer on them, haven't they? So yeah, they're
Yeah.
moving. They're moving with the mark, aren't they? They're moving with the current climate.
And we have to adapt and change with it, to keep making the profits, which is fine. And then hopefully in a few months' time we'll go back to normal as well. But you'll all have these new skills to use. But if we apply it to sort of the virtual sports, the premise is the same. We are betting on something that we're not able to lay it off at an exchange. A virtual, you've got a virtual horse race. There is no lay market on Smarkets or Betfair or Betback or anywhere else. You can't lay it off. So that money that you put in out there, you either win or you lose. It's very black and white. However, you will then receive some free stuff, which they could be free. That could be free bets that you can use, which you can hopefully then, use on something that you can back and lay and generate some cash from. It may be another free bet you have to use on virtuals. It may be free spins to use on a slot. It may be bonus cash to play on casino games. It could be many different things. However, depending on the makeup of it, exactly, how much you need to bet and exactly how much you get free, the OddsMonkey staff calculate whether it has a positive expected value. And if it does, it appears on the site. And it is not, it is not straight out and out gambling, because we are still, it's the same principle as any other offer. We're betting our own money and we're getting something free in return. And if that freebie sort of, works out as being worth more to us than what it's going to cost us over the long term, if we did this offer 100 times, then you'll see it on the website. And, I encourage you to have a look at those, to get involved, dip your toe in the water. And again, as with all of them, just most importantly, stick to the guide, the strategy, and follow it to the letter. And, you will make some money from those as well.
That's what I'm saying. I love the old analogy, Steve. Measure twice, cut once. I was all the info is there in the hub, isn't it? But please read the info. Don't get confused. No need to get confused. It's all there. It's all in the guide in the new hub, which is very impressive and is there for everyone at the moment. The casino is a big thing. So thanks for all that, Steve. It's been a brilliant talk through on today's podcast. Again, and we've revisited the casino, so you've got two casino podcasts to listen to now. We think we've covered an awful lot of bases. We will be back again very soon. But again, just a quick reminder for the premium service, if you use the code PODOFFER, POD or FFER, that gives you OddsMonkey Premium for 10 full days for just £1. So I said it's goodbye from me, Steve. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you've learned a lot from the casino. Hope it'll get you through this period a bit somewhat easier. And we'll be back again with a few more podcasts later in the year. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll catch you soon.